Good morning, everyone. I forgot to grab my pen. I'm just gonna have to make it work. How y'all feel out there? Good morning. Good morning. Okay, guys, I am here for the Pajama Party Podcast. So hopefully your morning is starting off great. Hopefully you had some good sleep. Hopefully you had a good week. I'm still adjusting. For those who have been here know that I've just started back working. Still adjusting to this, so I be having a little devil on my shoulder saying, girl, sleep in, But I flick them off. I flick them off and be like, listen, I got stuff to do. We got a pajama podcast to get to. I am here. I did not come on last weekend for day 2. So if you were following, you probably realized it. I came on Saturday, but I did not come on Sunday. That day, that whisper got to me, and I was like, you know what? You're right. I probably should sleep in. So I did. So I didn't come on last Sunday. So today we're actually going to finish up from the conversation on self-love from Saturday morning, and we're going to wrap that up today. I'm going to go turn this music off. So, yes, we're going to pick up where we left off. Good morning, guys. They about to draw. Listen, see the music, they're music people, like birds in general, and music always get them hyped up. The song is over. We're moving on to the discussion. It's time to quiet down. Come on, guys. I don't want to cover you up. Let's get it back together. All right. So, yes. Thank you guys for joining. Feel free to share the live and make sure you're following the page so you can be part of the conversation every weekend. So today I want you guys to wake up and say, today I choose me. And it sounds, a little funny and a little cheesy, but a lot of us are not choosing ourselves. A lot of us are not choosing ourselves. So we need to take our power back, and we need to choose ourselves starting today. And if you've already been doing it, clap, clap, clap. Good job, because it's not always the easy thing to do. So I want you guys to choose you no matter what situation you're in, no matter if it's a dangerous situation and you are looking for a sign. This is your sign. Today is the day to get out of the situation. Today is the day to choose yourself. Today is the day to stop letting people walk all over you. Even at work, some of us allow ourselves to be pushovers at work. You're doing more than you're supposed to, more than your job description, and for some people, they don't mind. So I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the person that's tired of being the doormat, the person that's tired of being the pushover, the person that's tired of, picking up Judy's work, picking up Trey's work, every time they want to do something, they just like, ask Candy, she'll do it, but then when it's your turn to ask for a little help, oh, you know what, right now, I'm a little bit behind, I can't. There's all the excuses in the world when it's your turn. But when they need you, you got that S on your chest and you're available. So You have to start learning how to say no, how to speak up for yourself, how to say no. You know, one-sided friendships. There's a lot of one-sided friendships, you know. Again, same type of situation. That person who is always calling on you when they need something, but you can't rely on them. That person who, you know, just you're pouring into their cup, they never pour back. Um, Definitely might be time to reevaluate your friend list and find out who in my circle am I keeping around because we're actually good for each other. That's the key thing. We're good for each other, not you're just good for them. So, who is in your friend circle that you're only still friends with out of loyalty? So, I know this person since third grade, seventh grade, you know, so I feel almost obligated to keep them in my life, even though I don't really have an attachment to them anymore. We barely talk on the phone. We don't really hang out. Our lives are kind of like not conducive with each other's anymore. You know, they're into things I'm totally not into. But if I'm having a special moment in my life, of course, I feel obligated to still invite them, even though they're not even quote unquote really my friend anymore. You can cut loose ends. You know, people that you have outgrown. That's not just stuff that happens in relationships. As far as like intimate spousal relationships, you outgrow all kind of relationships, including friendships. So if you have a friendship that no longer serves you, it's okay. You know, you don't have to feel guilty or feel a sense of obligation because you've known them. I've seen something before that says, what did it say? Something something like choosing people who align with your future, not your past. Okay, so these people that are from your past, if they're not aligning with your future, they're not, you know, it's something that's going to bring you down or is currently bringing you down, it is totally okay. And this is your sign. This is your permission to go ahead and cut that dead weight, because yes, that's literally what it is. People that are ungrateful, that take you for granted, you know, and you know who the people are. When I'm saying these things, certain names pop up in your head. Those are the people that we're talking about. Whoever is coming to your mind during this conversation, it's a reason why they're coming to your mind. That's a sign that, you know what, maybe it's time to let this person go, you know. Um, and then we have to figure out what has happened that we have even allowed ourselves to create these unhealthy relationships. What has happened, you know, that we stuck around this long, allowing this type of dynamic to, you know, happen. We have to fix the balance in the relationship, or we have to remove them altogether if they're not willing to. Because sometimes you might really love someone, and so it is difficult. You don't want to get rid of them no matter how bad they're treating you. And so when this is the problem, then there's only one thing you can do. Well, technically it's two things you could do, but I'm hoping that you don't do the second one. One is to just deal with it, but we're trying to avoid that. The other is you could still keep them around, but you have to set boundaries. And setting boundaries is not just saying this new boundary, it's holding yourself accountable to actually make that boundary stick. Because some of us have movable boundaries for different people. If you set the boundary, there's a reason why you set the boundary. So don't sit there and be so flexible with your boundaries and say, well, this boundary, okay, well, usually I don't do this, but for you, I'll do it, you know, because you really didn't want to do it. If you really didn't want to do it, then you have to stick to it. You know, it's going to be uncomfortable at first, especially if you're not like an assertive kind of person and you're used to being more passive. It's always going to feel challenging because now you're challenging yourself to be a different type of way, so sometimes it just feels easier to cave in than to have to put them big girl panties on and actually have to do the work. So that's going to be internal work that you're going to have to do and figure out, how do I let that boss out of me? You know what I mean? How do I get better with being a little more assertive and not being so passive aggressive, and setting these boundaries and figuring out what has happened, that has allowed me to make myself be a doormat to other people. Where did this come from? Because you have to do the work, because just fixing it in that one relationship is not going to be enough, because if you don't find the root of the problem, it's just going to show up in another relationship. And I'm not speaking just on, like, when I say relationship, I'm talking about any kind of relationship. At work relationships, friendship relationships, even in family. Like, if you're not figuring out the cause of what has happened that allowed you to have one unhealthy balance, or you might have that all around the board, especially if you take a look and say, dag, like, and mostly all of my relationships, like, I'm usually getting the short end of the stick, or I'm allowing myself to, be taken advantage of. There's some internal work that needs to happen. There's something that they saw in you. There's something that you're not seeing in yourself, that this is happening. So learning how to set them boundaries is definitely going to be key in this situation. You're also going to have to look out for what comes next. Oh my gosh. So when you start setting the boundaries, be aware that they are going to gaslight you. Okay? They're going to gaslight you. Why? Because if these things have been working to their advantage, they're not trying to change stuff up. They're not trying to change the dynamic up at all. Okay? So they want to get things back on track, the way how it used to be. So now here comes the gaslighting. They're going to make you feel like you're crazy. They're going to make you feel like, well, what's going on? Like, you changing like this, like you're drawing, like you're wrong. You're the problem. You're the issue. Like, well, why are you trying to, like, what we had was a beautiful thing. Why are you trying to ruin our relationship? Why are you trying to ruin this friendship? Like, you used to just watch my kid at the drop of a dime. I could just call you whenever, no heads up. Now all of a sudden you fronting. Now all of a sudden you have a life. Now all of a sudden you need sleep too. Wow, like the audacity of me wanting to have a heads up, and you not just show up at my door and say, hey, I'm about to do something, I need you out the kids. Wow. So when, like, I thought people would call you, ask you, was it even okay if you were available? Like, people, how they say, you let them slip and they gonna slide too, so they're going to make you feel like you're the crazy one, and it's not. All that's happening is that they don't want this dynamic to change because it is working for them. So you have to let them know, you know what? Yes, I have changed. I am now pouring into myself. I am now acknowledging my self-worth. I am now not allowing, the things that I have allowed before when I didn't have as high self-worth. But I no longer see myself in that way. Now, I'm going to give myself the love and care that I deserve. So when we time travel, because sometimes, it might be something significant that has happened in your life, or significant things. Florida roadway, what's going on? So, how was your Saturday? So when we time travel, we have to figure out, like, sometimes we got to go all the way back. Because a lot of times the way how we are today is a result all the way from childhood. Okay, let's get into it. So this could be, you could be that kid who used to get bullied in school. You know what I mean? And if you was a kid who got bullied in school, you probably have already been wired a certain way, and you even going into an adult, you've never got a chance to fix your rewiring. So if you was that kid who got picked on because you was a little chubby or you wore glasses, because see, now wearing glasses is kind of cool, but at once upon a time it wasn't. They call you four eyes and all that kind of stuff. So maybe you wore glasses, maybe you had pimples, maybe whatever the reason. So you was so like you have some people who are willing to take the scraps just to be a part of. You know, they're not willing to walk away and say, you know what, hell no, I'm not dealing with this. Some people will sit at the table where they're being made fun of, and they don't mind being the, you know, pun of the joke, because it's like how they say, oh, these people are laughing at you. They're not laughing with you. But if you're someone who's been bullied and isolated, you don't even care. You're just like, well, I don't care they're laughing at me. I'm at the table and I get to laugh too. I'm laughing at myself too. Like, I'm willing to. See, now you're establishing a toxic, you know, behavior and not even realizing it. To like just be a part of a situation, be a part of a group where you're the, you know, just the person that they're making fun of and stuff. But I'm a part of. As long as I'm a part of, I don't care, you know. So, and if you have that mindset all the way through school, what happens when you become an adult? You've been doing that for so long, it's not going to automatically change. First of all, you have to even acknowledge that that is not right. And then you probably need to get some type of therapy and stuff to help you rewire yourself if you've been having this type of mindset for too long. You know, so yes, there are people who are willing to, in any kind of way. So how does that look in adulthood? That kid who I'm talking about is the person who becomes an adult, and then they have friends who sees that in them, okay? And so they're a narcissistic person's dream, that type of friend. So when you have that type of friend, that'll be the person who, so you have a person who's like throwing a party. They're the ones throwing a party, right? But because you're that type of friend, they're gonna call you and say, hey, I need you to come over here. I need you to pick up decorations. I need you to pick up the cake. I need you to do this. I need you to, and you sitting there like, wait, what's happening? I thought this was their party and we was just getting invited. Yeah, everybody else is getting invited, but remember, you're not really their friend. So you're just someone who they have on speed dial that they can use. So now you got to scramble and actually do everything, but because you want to be a part of, it's okay. I get to be a part of the party, so I'll go and do all of this stuff and do everything, because as long as I get the invite, I'll take the scraps. That type of mentality, you have to figure out. You have to go deep and figure out what happened. Maybe it comes from your parents. Maybe your parents didn't, you know, like love on you enough to put you first, to make you feel like that you were, you know, worth that self-love. And so like if it didn't start as early as that, and it wasn't established that, hey, I am important, I do have, like, if you didn't get that from the start, how could you know to build it up, to keep it going on in the rest of your life? Then it's something you have to figure it out on your own. You just have to figure out where the root of this comes from, because especially depending on how toxic you're allowing people to be to you, you know, it's something that you have to work on and figure out, why am I like this? Because like I said, even if you decide to change it with this person or that person, how are you going to prevent it from happening again? So we have to figure out the foundation so that we can change the course of things happening later. Also, what is your breaking point? What does it look like? Do you know what that's going to look like? What that's going to feel like? Because breakdowns are disastrous. They're not cute. They're not pretty. That person I was talking about that get bullied in school, what happens when he have a breakdown? That's when you get the kid that comes and shoot the school up. So what do your nervous breakdown look like? There's only so much that you can take. So these are the dangers when you're constantly putting all these people before you, and you know it's going to be an overload at a certain point. It might not seem like it, right now might say, you know, yeah, people take advantage of me. Yeah, I'm getting sick of it or whatever, but I'm all right. I'm not mental. Well, guess what? People that have a mental breakdown are not mental either. They are regular people who get pushed over the edge. You don't have to already be a mental person to have a mental breakdown. So please don't get that misconstrued. And you definitely, like I said, no one knows what that's going to feel like or look like until you're in the midst of it, and then obviously by then it's too late. So one of the great things about when it comes to self-love and everything, because it's yourself, you do have a very significant amount of control over changing things. When it's like your environment or other people, it's really only so much you can do. But when it's yourself, you really have like a lot of control in making the changes that are necessary. So if you're feeling not good enough because of a image thing, you have the power to do what you need to do. If you feel like you're too skinny, you can do things to, you know, what do they call it, like protein shakes, or go to a nutritionist to help you thicken up. Same thing if you're trying to lose weight, you have the ability. It's just about being accountable, showing up, not being lazy, putting the work in to lose your weight and shape yourself. You know, if it's you have a hair problem, maybe you want to go and see a specialist so you can, you know, fix your hair. If you have, you know, if you're someone who, shoot, it's people who don't feel like working out and they go and they get surgery. If that's what it's resorted to and that's how you see yourself fixing yourself, then, you know, go that route. Whatever it is, give yourself a makeover. You know, just wake up and say, you know what, today I'm gonna dye my hair. Like, I just want to see myself in a different color. Like, I'm gonna put, or if you wear makeup, maybe you wear, like, you've been wearing a lot of makeup and maybe you want to tone it down a little now. Maybe you want to feel more comfortable in a more natural kind of face, which doesn't mean no makeup at all, but just kind of tone down, because I can't tell you enough. There are some women who suffer from this. Now, they may not say it, but they do. So, for instance, if you are a girl who's went to your job interview in full face makeup, ever since you've been starting the job, you had full face makeup, like every single day, weeks, months, been there a whole year, you know, they've never seen you full face, just always full face makeup. I will tell you, some women feel chained to the look. Why? And I'm not being funny. This is real. Because full face makeup does give you a different look than when you come in natural. So sometimes, even though that girl might be running late or this and the third, she's like, listen, I have to, like, even if she said to herself, like, you know what, I don't got time for my makeup today, let me just go. She won't do that. Because why? It actually feels cringe. It actually feels uncomfortable. Because I actually had someone who told me, like, they felt so, like, just not even themselves the first time that they came to work after a while without having worn no makeup. So that day when they came, like, she felt like that she got a lot of stares and stuff, like, because sometimes, like, y'all seen the pictures. Y'all seen pictures where people will sit there and put, like, this is the same person and stuff like that. And having that kind of shock factor, like, is that such and such? Like, yo, she looks totally different or whatever like that. So some women don't want to go through that. Now, not everybody has this issue, but I'm talking about some women who do. And they have got so used to and accustomed to what their makeup face is. It's almost like for them, that's their ongoing new face. They don't want to resort back, or maybe they do, but they can't, because again, it's something that they've just been doing for so long that they don't even feel comfortable anymore being in their natural face. So if it's a challenge that you want and you're like, you know what, Candy, like, I do really feel that way, like, I don't want to feel chained to this makeup. I do want to, you know, let my skin breathe. I do want to, not necessarily, like I said, not wear anything, but I do want to wear lighter makeup. You can challenge yourself. You can start doing like a little bit light, and a little bit, a little bit more like over time, and just do that. Maybe it's the same thing when it comes to hair. Some women are chained to wearing, like uh, wigs or you know um, fake hair, basically. And maybe you don't want to be chained to it anymore, but you don't necessarily like your natural hair. And maybe that's a journey that you want to take, but you don't feel comfortable or confident enough to do it. It can be a challenge. I'm going to tell you, listen, my hair, I cut my hair basically bald, okay? And listen, I never wore short hair before. So it was definitely a challenge for me. So back when the whole natural hair like really started raving and everything, and this is the thing, like before like it really got talked about natural hair, you never really heard people talking about natural hair. It was always perm relaxer, like, so I grew up in the perm relaxer era. Like that's just what you done. You just put a perm relaxer in your hair, and that's all it was. So I definitely had the relaxer in my hair. So when the whole natural hair thing kind of started trending and everything, I was like curious about it because I never had my hair in its natural state. Because since I was a kid, it was always relaxed. So I said, you know what? I'm interested. I'm curious to see what my hair will look like in its natural state. So, and they always say it's two ways. You can transition it, meaning that it just grows out and you just cut it little by little by little. Or you can just jump in that pool and do a big chop and just chop it all off. So, you know what? I said, you know what? I'm feeling a little froggy. I want to take a leap. So I just cut all my hair off. My hair was this short, okay? It wasn't even a piece of hair, okay? It was short. And I just said, you know what? The heck with it. And I felt a little self-conscious, because first of all, I'm thick, I'm chunky, so I got a fat face. So now with none of my hair there, so it's like just all fat face, like just like boom, here you go, face. So I'm like, all right, whatever, it is what it is. And it took I say like a good year. And I don't even know, I think that's been like 11 years ago now. So my hair came back, good. So it's thick, it's full, it's healthy. So, but again, I would have never gotten to see it if I didn't take the chance and just say, you know what, I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to just stay in my comfort zone. It was something that I was interested in, and it was something I was willing to do. So I'm just saying, sometimes you just got to take that chance and do it. So whatever physical thing that you might want to play around with as far as your look, you can do it. It's just a matter of taking that chance. Maybe it's not a physical look that you need to pour into yourself. Maybe you're like, you know what, I'm actually good with myself, Candy. Maybe it's the internal work that you need to do, and you need to see a therapist or talk to somebody. A lot of times people still do feel uncomfortable with the whole therapy stuff and everything. Either A, they don't believe it work, or B, they just feel uncomfortable talking to a stranger, or whatever the case is. But like we said, if you don't get to them foundations and you don't rewire, then it's obviously going to be an ongoing thing. So if you know that you're needing that internal work, then you definitely need to think about seeing someone, talking to someone, and that be the way that you pour into yourself and say, you know what, I'm finally going to release myself from these chains of things that are attached to me, things I've been suffering with for years, things I need to get off of me, because until you unpack it, you're pretty much just carrying that load on you, and you've been weighed down, but you still just refuse to put it down. So you need help with that. Maybe you don't feel comfortable where you're at in life, and you say, you know what, I feel like by now I should be doing this, or I should be here. Like, go back to school if that's something that you want to do, if that's the way you choose to pour into yourself. And maybe you say, I've been sitting here, putting myself into these kids, into the house, into this, into that, and that's the way you want to get back to yourself. And you say, you know what, no, I'm going to take some time out for myself. I'm going to go back to school, or I'm going to start this business. I'm going to, do something for myself finally, that's a decision that you can make. That's definitely a way that you can pour into yourself starting today. Maybe you want to leave a toxic environment. That absolutely would be the best way to pour into yourself. A lot of times we know from either experience or from watching someone or knowing someone else's story that it's not always safe to leave a toxic environment. It's not always easy to leave a toxic environment, otherwise you wouldn't be there. Or sometimes you're stuck there. Maybe you don't have the resources or whatever the case is. So finding that strength to say, you know what, today's the day I choose me. Today is the day I choose to leave that toxic environment. I don't care if I have to go to a shelter. I don't care if I have to, go tell my family I've been keeping it a secret. I didn't want to have to tell them, but today I'm going to just release myself from this, then that's what you need to do. Maybe you want to pour into yourself by getting back on track in your religion. A lot of times we fall off, and maybe you used to get up, you used to pray, you used to read, you haven't been doing it as much, and you can feel it. You can feel that you're missing something and you need to get back in line, and you need to get back on track. Today is a perfect day to start. So definitely do that. Get back on track in your religion. So you just have to figure out what it is that you need to do and how do you plan to do it. And most importantly, start your day off with a daily affirmation and say, today I choose me. You know what I mean? And whatever comes after that. Today I choose me. So today I'm going to make sure I go to the gym. Today I choose me. Today I'm going to make sure I do my daily reading, my scriptures. Today I choose me, and follow it up with whatever it is that you need to do to kind of just confirm it. Like, you got it out of your system. It's going to happen. You said it. And, start saying no to the people who are encouraging you to stay down, directly or indirectly, to the people who are using you as that pushover, as that doormat, the people that are not helping you get to your higher self. You need to get those people out of your life. And if these people are important to you, even though you're not that important to them, then you need to start setting boundaries if you choose to still keep them in your life. And you need to make sure that you are staying strong on your boundaries. Go with your first gut feeling. Don't let guilt manipulate you. So if you know that you are tired today and you really need to relax and love on yourself and just get your energy back up, and one of these manipulative friends call you up saying, hey, I need you to watch Lil Johnny today, and you say, I do not feel like this. If that's what your body and your first response is saying, it's okay to choose you. You don't have to always say yes to make the next person feel good and you feel like crap. Especially when you know that you are usually a given person. You don't have to do it every single time. And if they're a friend, they're going to understand, and they'll find someone else. Life will go on. It's not going to, the world is not going to end because you said no and you didn't watch Johnny today. Trust me, if they really got to do what they got to do, they're going to find someone else. So go with your feeling. Go with your first feeling. Do what it is that you say that you feel that you want to do, and don't let anyone guilt you into the situation. Stand firm in your boundaries. Love on yourself and enjoy your own time, like we said on Saturday. Getting used to, being in your own space, not needing other people to make you feel whole and complete. And so that was basically today's live, which was, like I said, the continuation from last weekend of self-love and pouring onto yourself. So I'm definitely going to make sure that I'm back on here tomorrow, because I'm telling you, it's rough. It's rough for me right now. Doing the getting up 6 o'clock in the morning every morning when you've been used to being able to just sleep in. My body is still just adjusting. So I just feel like this is the adjustment period. So I'm gonna give myself, okay, so I officially 2 weeks in, clap, clap, clap. I'm officially 2 weeks in. So I would say, give or take, probably giving myself another 2 weeks. Like, so 30 days in, I feel like I should be a little bit better, you know, but we'll see, we'll see. So again, hopefully this live helps you in some kind of way. Share the live so someone else can get the message. And if you liked it, make sure you like and comment and send a girl some stars if you really was feeling it, you know. I will definitely be back on tomorrow, like I said. And y'all have a beautiful day. Y'all enjoy y'all day. And yes, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. All right, YouTube. Y'all be safe out there.